Good night and welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we welcome Mr. O'Brien. He is a Brooklyn College political science student. He's on the presidential list, and he's also an avid supporter of the Freedom Works Group. We're going to start off right off the bat. Mr. O'Brien, what are your thoughts on the Keystone Pipeline that's currently being proposed?
Yes. Firstly, thank you for having me. Now, with the dire state that the energy sector is in currently, a boost is needed. And although many environmentalists oppose the construction of the Keystone Pipeline, it is important for the U.S. government to utilize every natural resource towards the betterment of the U.S. economy. Now, with that being said, an environmentalist committee needs to be set up to oversee the production and make sure it's safe and does not pose an immediate threat to surrounding communities. And yes, I do agree with going forward with the Keystone Pipeline.
Interesting, thank you. In addition, with regard to the international issue of terrorism,
yes,
what are your thoughts on the recent terror attacks in Paris?
Yes. Now, I believe the current U.S. administration needs to pinpoint and identify it for what it is, which is an Islamic terrorist attack. Now, it has nothing to do with religion, but it does have to do with the violation of the civil rights of human beings through force, murder, and violence. And we have come to understand that a lot of these incidents are involving the name of Islamic Jihad. So we need to understand that we are not dealing against a religion, we are dealing against barbaric behavior, and we have to understand and come together and wipe out terrorism as a global community wherever it may be found. And that's my take on global terrorism, and yes, it's an Islamic terrorist attack.
Thank you. Mr. O'Brien, in light of Mr. Obama's proposal to go forward with a 2-year free college education for community college students, what do you think? Do you think this is a good idea or no?
Yes. Firstly, I think a clear message needs to be sent to Washington that the American people will not accept or condone overspending. So the first question I have to ask is, where is the money coming from to finance this venture? The second question that I have to say, and the second issue that I have with the whole proposal of free college education, is when we lower the cost of education, it diminishes the value of that education. What does that mean? That the incentive to work hard and to get a high GPA is lowered when this college education is free. So what I think should be proposed dually is that a standardized GPA should be necessary of maybe 3.0 in order to be eligible to even accept this free college funding, and then that should be proposed along with any college tuition and that and my third aspect on this, my third viewpoint is that those that are under the poverty line have access to what we call financial aid. So it's not even a loan. So yes, there are means and ventures and ways in order to be able to pay college tuition without making it free. So I think there's the ins and outs, there's the pros and cons, but yes, I think it shouldn't just be free to go to college. You should have some sort of incentive in order to complete college.
Thank you. Finally, and this would be my last question, in light of the many protests that we've seen statewide, what are your viewpoints on the civil rights fight today?
Yes. The first thing that comes to mind is a quote from Nelson Mandela, who said that racism is drastically ugly. I'm paraphrasing, but racism, either black or white, cannot be accepted. With that being said, I believe that equality and education is the only way that we could get liberation. Minority groups, we need to find liberation through education. We need to educate our young ones as to what the older civil rights pioneers such as Dr. King had to go through for our freedom. The worth of our freedom and how we need to conduct ourselves regarding law enforcement or generally as human beings. And I think that we need to respect each other, for we all have one color, and that's red blood. So where it doesn't matter if you're black, if you're white, if you're Hispanic, we need to understand that the human race and the value of human life and come together and live as American citizens in the land of the free and the brave.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. It was very nice speaking with you today. We look forward to speaking with you next week. And once again, have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you, audience. Bye-bye.